Fire.
Welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter study group. Today is January 2nd, 2025. Can you believe it? Today we are going to have a social. We're going to get to know each other a little bit and see what we're planning, what you want us to include for the rest of the year. And then if we have time, I've got some Mad Lib games. If you remember Mad Libs, it's going to be interesting. In preparation for Mad Libs, I'm going to go ahead and copy this into the chat because there are people that don't remember this from middle school. Let's see if that comes through. Oh, it's too long. Oh, that's why it's too long. Okay. We're not going to copy that into the chat. It's just too long. Okay, let's go on. My name is Thea Soren. I am the president of this chapter in Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm also the vice president of career and professional development, which means it's my job to help you. That's really all that all means. I'm also the founder of the BA Force Multiplier movement. I'm one of the authors of the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, version 3. I'm one of the authors of the Business Analysis Bridging the Gap Between Industries. The first volume has come out. We're working on the next 12 industries to put out so business analysts get a heads up and a leg up on what it's like to go into a new industry and things that you need to know. We like to celebrate the wins here. We've had 2 new people that have recently earned their CBAP. Olga and I have earned our CBAPs. It's ironic. I helped write the book 10 years ago, and so I decided it's time to take the test. So I took the test. I have more insight as to you passing the test now. So reach out to me if you're interested. In fact, in the test, I was able to score higher in 4 of the 6 sections, which was pretty exciting. Our board of directors, you can see our list here. We have quite a number of people that are volunteers to help you make this chapter better and to serve you. And our mission here, our mission is to equip business analysts with knowledge, tools, and support needed to excel in their roles through targeted training, mentorship, and fostering a professional community. We empower business analysts to drive impactful decisions, collaborate closely with stakeholders, enhance organizational efficiency, and elevate the practice of business analysis. We are the Tampa Bay IIBA. We have people from literally all over the world that are members of our chapter. So if you do not have an IIBA chapter, we are happy to become your chapter and serve you the very best that we are able to. This is our normal Thursday night study group. We have these weekly from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Meeting recordings are on YouTube, but there's a whole lot of them. So I would encourage you to check out Bob's Incredible Index at rpchurchill.com. And he has a list of all of the recordings, and you can just jump right into them because he's been kind enough to provide you links. We also have our IIBA chapter website, which is tampabay.iiba.org, and you can find the upcoming events there. We're going to go over a few of those tonight. Study group advisors are Bob and Esther. Again, Bob's website is there, rpchurchill.com. They are both CBAP certified and have agreed to be our study group advisors. Last year, we ended the year with several of us being nominated as Volunteer of the Year, with Bob being one of the 3 finalists. We plan on doing that again. In fact, we're going to do even better this year because we're learning and growing and maturing our chapter. If you're interested in participating, reach out to me. We want to start some chapter branches in Florida. If you live in Florida and you want to have some face-to-face, let's get together as business analysts, let me know, and we will make that happen. I want to talk about the elephant in the room. We've got a lot of people that are business analysts. Some of them are trained, some of them have degrees, some of them are certified, and they're having trouble finding jobs. If you know of jobs, please reach out to me and let me put those on a LinkedIn group that I've created for jobs. I've got one in the United States. I've got a second group for jobs in Canada, and I would be glad to try to link these skilled folks with you and your needs. We partner with a variety of associations, the Tampa Bay Women in Agile, the Tampa Bay Product Group, and several of the best of the IIBA chapters around the world. So if there's something that we can't help you with, we know lots of people that can. Watermark Learning has given us a discount code of 40% off of any of their products, classes. It's phenomenal stuff that they have. I do highly recommend the Watermark CBAP book. I used it in my own certification journey. The discount code is Tampa21. Adaptive US has also given us a discount code for 20% off of all of their live classes and on-demand courses, excluding the IIBA exam vouchers. Their discount code is ITBF20. I've told you about our board of directors. We recently took a break from Thanksgiving on through the end of Christmas until the new year. We are now back to our regularly scheduled weekly programming. So every Thursday evening, we will be here. We want to see you here, though, because it does us no good to be here to arrive and to put together this group if people don't show up. So tonight we're going to do our social hour. We're just going to catch up with each of you, see where you are, see what you need, see what we can do to help, see what you've learned recently. And we want to talk to you about what we've scheduled. We want to see what you want us to add. And then if we have time, we're going to do some Mad Libs at the end. Next week, we have Brianne. She's going to come talk to us about what business analysts need to know to bring value, which is a fantastic talk. I wanted to put all of her text on here, but I decided that was a lot of text. It's quite worth it to step in. Her talk has gotten rave reviews from other groups. Exara is going to talk about design thinking to initiate a new project. This is the design thinking sprint that Google created, and he has performed it successfully with several different groups. He's from Sri Lanka, and he has a fantastic presentation to bring to us on the 16th. The next one is going to be Chris. She's going to talk about creating your leadership recipe, how to be the leader, even if you don't have the title. And she has some very interesting ideas that she wants to bring to us. And then our own Alicia is going to come in and talk about strategic leadership and business analysis, how to be the leader, even if you don't have the title. But Alicia's coming at it from a different perspective. And then Nadia is going to talk about the SAFE train. If you haven't ever participated in a SAFE environment, and this is the Agile SAFE version, and learning how to schedule, having multiple groups come together and work together to be scheduled and schedule all your resources. You need to know how to schedule, how to work with the SAFE train and what it means and the different things about it. And then February 13th, we're going to have a joint meeting with Tampa Bay Women in Agile and Tampa Bay Product Group. We're going to talk about product ownership versus business analysis. What's the difference? What are the things we need to know? And realizing it's a little bit different in every company, but you need to know what the market says. Howard is going to come to us and talk about product ownership specifically after that, and what are the responsibilities. And then Jody and I are going to do a talk about dysfunctional mapping. This is taking several techniques in a very specific order to get the team to go through something similar to design sprint, but dysfunctional mapping is a little bit different, and it's a new group of techniques that we want to bring. We're going to be presenting at BBC as well. Then during the whole month of March, 4 different meetings in a row, we're going to walk through SDLC. We have a lot of BAs coming to us and say, I want to be able to say, I understand SDLC, but I don't necessarily have experience at it. I'd like to get experience. So we're going to actually walk through a project, and I think that we're going to have some developers actually create the project, have the rollout, do the testing, have the Retrospective, we're going to do the whole SDLC process. Then Chris is going to come and talk about process improvement, revolution in business wisdom. Cliff, are you checking that guy? Okay. Then April 10th, we have some business analysis recruiters coming. We want to know what the current market is. What are the skills they're looking at on the horizon? What skills do we need to develop to be marketable in the future? So we want to get their perspectives. And if you know some recruiters, I'd like to get a couple of different recruiters from different organizations. Eric is going to come talk to us about beginning business analysis. If you've never been a business analyst or you want to be able to explain it better, Eric is kind of a pro at this. This is what he does. And then Silas is going to come talk about measuring the intangibles, those things about business analysis that makes it hard to explain to people what we do, the value we bring, but he has a way to measure it. So I'm pretty excited. And then Alicia is going to come one more time to talk about building synergy in global teams and working with stakeholders. Doing that virtually has its challenges, and she's mastered some of those things that we need to know. And then the last thing we have scheduled is Simulators Framework for Business Analysis. Bob, our very own advisor, has been working on his framework for business analysis for quite a while, and he has adopted, and improved some things, and he would like to present it to us. And so we're going to be doing that. Now, coming up, training. These are training opportunities that are available to you. Several of them, I think they all cost money, but there are early bird rates on some of these. The Bluegrass chapter is going to start their BABOK study group. This is the study group for if you want any of the 3 certifications with the BABOK. That's ECBA, CCBA, or CBAP. One of the things I like about this is not only do you get the number of professional development hours that you need, but it also gets you the Watermark study book. And I will tell you, I think the Watermark study book is easier to understand than the BABOK. They just made it cleaner. Then, I'm sorry, that starts January 27th, and it is on like 2 days a week of random through there. If you want more information on this, you can either go to the Bluegrass website or contact me and I'll give you the link. The next one, the Bluegrass IIBA chapter also has the AI for Business Analysis course. This is only a 3-day course, and they do have a variety of pricing. They do have an early bird price for you, and that's through the Skills Development Group. Skills Development Group it has a wonderful reputation of doing really good quality training. And so everything they do, I recommend to them. But if you would like to get more information on that, again, either contact the IIBA in Bluegrass or contact me and I'll give you a link to it. BBC is coming up, which is in June. I know it sounds like a long ways away, but guys, it just happens to, it doesn't take any time to get there at all. This is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona in June. Does that sound hot to you? But the early bird pricing is still going on this. And then Central Iowa, way back in October, in Des Moines, Iowa, has their IBAD. This is their conference convention, just one day. If you're going to be in the Iowa area during the early October, this might be something that you want to do. It's not as expensive as some of the other things. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I want us to give a few minutes to get to know each other again. We've got some new people on here. We've got some people that we know. Tamara, I know that I asked you a few things a while ago, how law enforcement was here at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, but how are you doing?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamara Stevens. I work with law enforcement here in the state of Florida. I work in a role where I'm helping to develop a new data collection, or at least assisting in the many law enforcement agencies here in the state of Florida, participating in a federal data collection. And it's been an engaging and fun opportunity to be kind of like that individual in the middle, explaining to the agencies how to participate and how to provide their data so that it is um, uh, knowledgeable and helpful for all of the studies that will probably happen in the future. I very much enjoy the role that I am taking on, and I love learning more and more about how the agencies would like to provide new and different data in their perspective, because they're obviously the people that are boots on the ground, and they kind of see the data collection in one particular way versus what is being asked of them to provide to um, the collection from the kind of IT side of it. So sometimes it's kind of a, how do we fix this? How do you want things to be better so that we can do it in version 2.0 kind of situation, and learning from both sides about what is being asked of them, and how to get them to say, hey, I would like to give this to you, and I'd like to give you something extra. I just want to give it to you in a different way.
Very cool. You're getting to kind of make up your responsibilities in this, aren't you? Because this, you're blazing a new trail.
Yes. It's very fun and scary in a sense of being like, hey, we have this in other states. We don't have it here in Florida. How do you kind of want to define this in a sense? And it's just like, hmm.
Have
well,
you have you reached out to the people that are doing this in other states to kind of create a thought group?
well, so there is a conference that we have every that I attend. I've attended the last 3 years. It's the ASUCRP, Association for Uniform Crime Reporting, Association of State Uniform Crime Reporting Programs. And it is for all the different states to get together so that we can kind of learn from one another about how each state reports their crime statistics, and what are the kind of nuances for each state, because there's a federal definition for the crimes that we're all following, but then there are always some little like, hey, this state defines, or this state adds in this extra little ingredient here. How does your state deal with the situation? So
Very cool. I
So
see.
is the goal for a federal? Sorry. Is that the ultimate goal, to get all the locals to state level and then the state level into a federal type?
for the crime statistics, yeah, it's the uniform crime reporting of just data, crime statistics in general um, for the entire United States. But you know how each statute is kind of a little different in every jurisdiction.
Hmm.
So because of that, the federal level was just like, hey, if we give you guys all a uniform definition of the crimes that we're looking at, now you kind of have to apply our definition to your crimes, and we can kind of have a uniform way of viewing all crimes. So for the most part, everybody is following the uniform crime definitions. There's just a few little nuances of things that are slightly different because of each state. They're just like, hey, we have to define this, or it's defined in our legislation as something slightly different.
Oh, what a pivotal role you have. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
I'm so proud that you're one of us.
that's a data mapping exercise to the freaking extreme, I can imagine. Because
Yeah, it is.
be right up my alley, but yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun to work on. And
Look,
solutions.
oh, definitely. Luckily, we have a huge uniform program that deals with a lot of the statutes. I get to be the middleman of training the agencies, as well as gathering information about what they would like to see differently in the different iterations in the future.
Hmm. Are
Cliff,
you like setting up something where you're having, I keep on bringing up something like Fabric, where you could have a central repository for all this data, but then you have all these connections to. I mean, are you doing integrations? Are they randomly sending you their data? Or have you even gotten that far?
No, I work for the state repository for crime statistics. I just this is just a different version of how we used to have a summary reporting of the data, which is kind of like a hierarchy rule of like if there was a burglary and someone stole a car and someone murdered somebody, the hierarchy would say that you would only report the murder. But it was a kind of quick way to do crime statistics in the past. The new updated version is way more nuanced, gathers a lot more information, a lot more relationships. So I'm just helping with training individuals to understand this and not throw the computer screens out the window.
You know what
My
I picture, Thea, on that is Microsoft for years in their CRM system, in their option sets, they would only allow you to like select one value. So you couldn't do a multi-select option set. So it almost sounds like something along those lines where, oh, well, he might, you might have 3 crimes here, but you can only pick one. Just because it's an outdated, system.
Yeah.
But like I said, that sounds like fun. Honestly, that's the kind of stuff that I play with. But oh yeah, you can have lots of conversations on that, and then trying to get all the cities working together to come together. Oh boy, yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
It is.
I'm just thinking of all the different technologies that you're having to integrate. I mean, I
Yeah.
bet you've got some cities or some places that they don't have the computer systems and they're doing everything on paper still.
Oh, well, I mean, we've been working with trying to get everyone funded and trying to make sure that it's as smooth of a process as possible for everyone. So there's been a lot of discussions and talks about how to get everyone up to this new format of providing their data, and it's been a process.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. Thank you, Tamara.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
One
Cliff,
huge advantage to that is if they're thankfully with the cloud, you don't have to deal with everybody having their own on-prem system, hopefully, or eventually you can get rid of that. So you can get some standardization that way. Because I would remember doing CRM projects like that, where you got a company that has 10 on-prem, CRM systems, and you're trying to get all those to working together. But now cloud is a little better.
yeah.
But that's anyway. I can talk about stuff like that forever. It's fun stuff to me.
Well, Cliff, why don't you tell us about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing better. I started with a new company December 1st, Technology Advisors. I'm actually learning an entirely new CRM system. And it's a lot more plug and play, not as customizable, but it's very low code, no code type setup. That's what they specialize in. So it's different. Just like one example, their CRM system has no pick lists, or what we call pick list or option sets. Everything is a lookup, if you know what that is. So, you have separate tables for everything, and then the relationships between them in the back end. So it's a little different. I'm hopefully going to take a test on it in the next week or two.
Yeah.
Thea, did I tell you they decided to have a company event in their home area? They're in Chicago next week.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to Chicago in January. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
it's like, are you guys serious? But anyway.
And there's a polar vortex supposed to hit the Midwest.
Yes, I know. My wife and I've been watching it because it's like, oh God, what are we going to run into? But the old company I used to work for was based out of Minneapolis, and they kind of had the same thing. They always threatened. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to get everybody up here, February or March. It's like, no, you're not going to happen. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the funny thing is that vortex that's going to be hitting, it looks like it's going to go through the central. So being in Chicago, we might actually be above it and it might not be too bad. But
Yeah,
I'm
here's
not
the
holding
thing.
my breath.
Here's the thing, though. I think it's Lake Michigan is right off Chicago. There's a
Yeah.
thing called lake effect, and this very cold air comes in off the lake. So just take your best coat.
Oh yeah. No, it would definitely. Yeah, actually, the owner was saying that their problem is the lake right now um,
Huh?
is still very warm. So what happens is there's a lot of moisture above the lake right now.
Uh-huh.
So whenever they get a cold gust, it just picks up all that moisture and dumps a crap load of snow right on them. Um, I watch a lot of football, and there was a Green Bay game, I think a week or two ago that we were watching, and it was snowing the entire game. And I mean, not just a flake here and there, it was just massively coming down. And it's like, oh, who the hell would want to be in the stands? But anyway, it's just crazy the weather. Um, but stuff we don't have to deal with down here.
Oh, well, y'all have a different thing to deal with.
Oh
So
yeah.
well, you let us know how you do on your test, okay?
Yeah, yeah. They actually have all the questions and answers. We're
Yeah,
cheating.
so you know what you're doing. Okay, cool.
But I just did. We had 2 weeks of like 2 or 3 hour daily trainings that I just finished, so
Mhm.
should be good to go.
I know you will be. You're gonna rock it.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see who's next. Who would like to introduce themselves next?
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Chapman. I'm
Hey, Steven.
a technology educator from the Virgin Islands. I used to be a product designer, and I'm trying to transition out of education into a new field. I'm hoping to convince my employer to see the value of business analysis and possibly contribute part-time. So I'm taking some courses online to help me sharpen my skills, and hopefully I can get certified. So I'm hoping to, learn from others who are more experienced and possibly convince my boss that this is something that we should really incorporate to help us improve things that are happening at our school.
Very nice. And what's the name of the school or
Go
company?
to Country Day School.
Okay, very nice. Well, I'd be glad to have a conversation with you offline to give you ideas of things that you can tell your boss. I've had that conversation many, many times with people. So I can help you with that, Stephen. How long have you been doing your product design and such?
Well, I did it for about 10 years,
Okay.
simultaneously while I was teaching. I worked for a toy company when I lived in Virginia. And then when I moved back home, I transitioned into teaching and doing freelance brand design and product design locally.
Well, the good news is teaching and designing are all business analysis activities. You're doing a whole bunch of business analysis stuff without knowing that that's what it was doing. So I can help you with all of that.
I
Very
appreciate
cool. Anything
Sorry.
else you want to tell us?
Well,
Are
Miss
you in
Brown.
our channel, Stephen? Or have we connected on LinkedIn and stuff?
No, not yet. I just recently joined
Okay.
IIBA. So this is my
Okay.
first meeting.
I
Awesome.
have the information in the chat for us. And
Okay.
the reason I bring that up is like Thea was mentioning, um, Robert set up a great index. And when you're studying for the test, you can use that index to go to whatever chapter you're studying. You can see the video, you can get all your practice questions. Everything's really organized.
Right.
And if you get in our channels, we do a lot of announcements and those kinds of things. So you'll know everything that's going on.
Okay, great. I'll definitely check that out. I've been taking the Microsoft Business Analysis course
Mm-hmm.
online, just try to get me used to all the terminology. I mean, I've taught my students Excel, but a lot of the things that they're teaching are a little more advanced than what I'm teaching the
Okay.
students.
Stephen, you need to be aware that business analytics and business analysis are two totally different things. There might be some crossover, but whenever we talk, we'll go deeper into that, okay?
Oh, you mean the course that I'm taking?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it said business analysis.
Is it teaching you things like Tableau, SQL, Power BI, data analytics?
Well, some of it is like dealing with stakeholders. That was like
Oh, well,
the part of
I
it.
may be wrong then. You may be taking actually business analysis. Wasn't aware that they had a business analysis course. I'd like
Yeah,
to know more.
I was thinking the same way as you, like Fabric and Power BI and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
There's a Power BI section, but as far as software, it's mainly Power BI and Excel. But the
Okay.
beginning part was mainly about the role of a business analysis and
Okay.
interact with stakeholders,
Hmm.
elicitation.
I would be glad to see it if I'm wrong about it. I don't want you to be misled, is what I want to be sure of. I want to be
Okay.
sure you get the correct information. And there are a lot of people that get business analytics and business analysis mixed up. They sound like they're the same thing, but they're not. Whichever one you want, though, I'll help get you there, okay?
I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'll set up some time with you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, the Virgin Islands, is that an hour ahead of Eastern time?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. That helps me figure out what time to set aside for you. All right,
Hmm.
let's do that. Okay, anybody else want to introduce yourselves?
Well, we have two newbies. E,
Yeah,
e, e, I don't know how to say
Imal.
their names.
I think it's Imal and Pranka. Okay. Bob, do you want us to give us any updates so that everybody knows what you've been up to?
I'm always working on something. Forgive me for speaking slowly. In my next life, my nervous system will work all the way to the end. In this life, I can still do all the lyrics to Baby Got Back, but it may take me 23 and a half minutes. So if you can bear with that, I'll get you great information.
Yes, you
So,
did.
beginning in about 2016, I mean, I'm an mechanical engineer, process engineer, software engineer who specialized in doing different kinds of computer simulations for over 30 years. I did it in many industries all over the world and so on. So I've been there, I've done that, I've dealt with the full life cycle in a ton of different environments with a ton of different customers of all shapes and sizes, with people at every level of all kinds of organizations, and that was really fun. So when all this nonsense happened, I ended up out of work and spent a lot of time studying new programming languages, web development, and so on, and also getting and maintaining even more certifications. So I had, I think, 7 or 8 at one time. Now I still have 5. So I came up with during that time a framework for doing business analysis based on my personal experience. And in the last 7 or 8 years, I have consume just tons of data, reading presentations by other people, conferences, and so on to validate what I came up with. And I found that at this point, I almost never see something that doesn't fit into my framework. And it's certainly nothing that invalidates it. There are there are parts that I don't go into detail on, that I'm not an expert in and don't claim to me. But what I found ultimately is that business analysis and solving problems as groups, regardless of the complexity, is first, foremost, and always about good communication with each other. So my framework involves iterating through a series of phases. So you iterate in one of 6 phases until you agree that you're all on the same sheet of music. Then you move to the next one and iterate through that. However, the trick is that at any time you can iterate between phases. So if you learn something in a later phase and realize you made a mistake or want to change something, or you left something out in an earlier page, go back and fix it. And that's really what it's all about. So I will be talking about that sometime during this year. My website has just a ton of material. There are 500,000 words of content, pictures out the ears, and tons of video content. So if you have any questions about any of it, outside of what I've put together so far, please let me know. Happy to answer questions and help with whatever you have going on. And I continue to learn and add and wallow in the material, as I call it. So there's always more to learn.
That is correct. Let me share, since we're talking about Bob's website right now. This is an example from Bob's website. He's created these simulations to help see what happens as you move through a simulation. And he's been able to do this for so many different interesting things. And he does his own development, which makes it even more cool. But if you
I don't use third-party tools. I do first principles development from in many different high-level languages. What she just demoed there for you is written in JavaScript. It's a live discrete event simulation.
Very cool. But if you go to Bob's website, rpchurchill.com, and you choose the Tampa IIBA study group, not only do you have access to his resume, his blog, contact information, everything else, but this gives you access to, here's our meetup. We're not using meetup anymore, are we, Cliff?
No, we
Okay.
stopped using Meetup actually. Yeah.
I'll take that link off.
Here's a link to our LinkedIn, our Zoom, our Facebook group. Cliff is our marketing person, guys, and Cliff does a fantastic job updating Zoom and LinkedIn and Facebook on a weekly basis to keep us all moving forward. And then here's our list of recordings by date. but if you want to go by topic, because some of our dates are a little weird, moving all the way down here to near the bottom, here's links by BABOK knowledge area. These are practice test questions. And granted, our very first ones are probably not as good as our last ones because we learned how to do it better. But this is us going through the practice test questions for the CBAP and talking about why this is the best answer and what do you have to pay attention to in the question. And so it's by knowledge area, chapters 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then here's the introduction. If you want to understand certification, here's chapters 1 and 2, the basics that you have to learn to understand any of the rest of it. And then, of course, underlying competencies, which are things like active listening and teaching and learning, the things that you have to be able to do very well. And then we have 50 techniques in the BABOK. And so we've done at least 2 different presentations on each one of the techniques to help you understand. And this blog, this is Bob's blog on that technique. So he gives you more information on it. Below that is our guest speaker series. And some of these are people that have just taken their CBAP and they're talking about what they found surprising, what they wish they had known, what they wish they had studied more on. And so he's got those all in red, so it makes it super easy to find. But Bob has done a fantastic work here for us and he continues to update it very regularly. So you can go through and look at all kinds of different speakers. Some of these speakers are top notch. Some of these speakers are trying really hard and doing the best they can and give us good information. But this is quite a feat to do. Okay, do I have anybody else that wants to introduce themselves before I go to the next thing? Okay. I want to bring over my PowerPoint that I used earlier. I've got some blank pages on it. And I want to note, are there any topics you want us to be talking about this year so we can get the speakers found or the material found and scheduled? Do y'all have anything that you want to learn more about that we haven't already said we're going to talk about? Nothing at the moment? Okay, then you're going to force me. We're going to go into games. I know that this really upsets you. Games. This is called word libs. And this is going to be called, let's see, let's start with this one right here. Business analyst performing awesomely. So do y'all want to give me the words or do you want to let's do it at random? I think it's a lot more fun if you give me the words. So I'm going to turn on my chat window here so I can see your chat. And I did put a list, explanation of adjectives and adverbs in there. It still looks like non-functional requirement words to me. But in case you forget which is different between adjectives and adverbs, and I'm going to go to everyone in the meeting here. And y'all can just tell me what you want me to type in here and I will. I need a place.
Do Tampa.
Tipton, New York.
Okay. New York. Sorry, I can only hear one at a time. I need a person's name.
Joe.
Bill. I need another person's name.
I think you said Joe.
Okay, I heard Joe. I think I need another person's name. Keep trying if I'm not hearing you.
Abigail.
Abigail. Oh, I'm going to spell that one wrong. Maybe. I think.
Who's the E?
Okay, thank you. Need another person's name.
Kevin.
Say it again.
Kevin.
Kevin. Got it. And I need three more persons' names.
Rachel.
Rachel.
Oh, we'll go with a friend's theme, Joey.
Okay. Joey and one more. Oh, 2 more people's names.
Ahmed. ACHMED.
Okay. One more.
That's my Starbucks name.
Okay. One more person's name.
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. I need an adjective.
Tall.
Tall. Okay. Another one.
Purple.
Purple.
That's a color. Is that an adjective?
No, that would be an
Yeah.
adverb. I mean, yes, that's an
A
adjective.
noun or an adjective.
Okay.
Okay. So another adjective.
Catawampus. Cattywampus.
All right. I need an adverb. A word describing a verb.
That
Say it again.
No, I just got adjectives. Hold on.
Okay. I put it in the chat.
I know, I'm going back.
Adroitly. Adroitly. T with no N.
Okay. Tell us
There
what
we
that
go.
means.
He's expanding our vocabulary here. Never heard
Doing
of
it
that.
well. Cattywampus, by the way, is Catty.
I thought I changed that. I'm sorry. Okay. I need another adverb.
Accidentally.
Keyboard. Okay. I need a verb.
That's actually ALLY.
Where?
For accidentally.
Accidentally.
ACCIDENTLAL.
ALLY.
Thank you. Cool. I need a verb.
Detour.
Detour. Adjective.
Long.
Okay. A verb.
Break.
Another verb.
Implement.
Okay. I need adjective.
Porcine. PORCINE, meaning pig-like.
Okay. I need an adverb. I'm going to take some off the list to speed us up just a little bit.
That works.
Okay. Quickly, a verb.
Caterbine.
Hedropine?
Caterbine. CATERBINE. It's a non-existent word from a cheesy World War II movie.
Is it a verb?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to use it. Spell it again.
CATERBINE.
Okay. Adjective. An adjective is bright. A place, Poughkeepsie. Somebody said that earlier.
POUGH.
Okay.
KEEPSIE.
Okay.
Fuzzy.
Buzzing.
Fuzzy, like a
Oh,
bear.
fuzzy. Sorry. The and an adverb carefully. Okay. Let's see what we have created together, guys. I'm going to try to read this without laughing. I'll do my best. The successful business analyst. Once upon a time in New York, there was a brilliant business analyst named Joe. Abigail was known for their fuzzy skills in analyzing data and solving problems. One day, Bill was assigned to work on a crucial project with a tall scrum master, a supportive sponsor, and a group of purple stakeholders. The group gathered in the Poughkeepsie, New York, to discuss the project's goals and priorities. Sarah began by implementing the requirements and identifying the key objectives. The Scrum Master, with their cattywampus approach, facilitated the meeting and ensured everyone was on the same page. As the discussion progressed, the stakeholders shared their bright insights and break their concerns. Ahmed listened carefully and adroitly addressed each point, ensuring that all perspectives were considered. The sponsor, impressed by the team's collaboration, caterbined their support and encouraged everyone to stay focused. With the priorities clearly defined, Joey and the team detoured a comprehensive plan to achieve their goals. They worked accidentally and carefully to ensure the project's success. In the end, their long efforts paid off, and the project was completed quickly. The stakeholders were thrilled with the results, and Kevin was celebrated as a porcine business analyst who could turn challenges into opportunities. The Scrum Master, sponsor, and stakeholders all agreed that Rachel was an invaluable asset to the team. That's amazing. I've got another one. Do y'all want to do one more? Okay.
Sure.
Let's do the study group. And I'm going to tell it to fill all random real quick. Okay, give me some places.
Tampa.
Tampa, of course. And let's do Orlando. And I'm going to do y'all's names. Cliff and Bob and Tamara, ARA, and I guess got to do me and Imal. Who's our other person?
Steven?
Steven. Okay. Let's see what we have here. In the vibrant city of Tampa, a dedicated business analyst named Steven was preparing for the CBAP certification test. To tackle this challenge, Imal joined a small group of good business analysts who were also studying for the exam. The group met regularly in cozy Orlando to review materials and share insights. Each member brought their own voracious strengths to the table, making the study session both real and productive. Theo would often mend complex concepts while others would not practice sessions and discuss strategies. One day, the group decided to lean a mock exam to test their knowledge. They worked B and supported each other through the challenging questions. Cliff felt crooked, knowing he had such a crooked team by their side. As the exam date approached, the group continued to dissect and dissect together. Their moldy efforts paid off, and they all felt moldy, prepared for the test. On the day of their exam, Tamara walked into the testing center with confidence, knowing that their hard work and collaboration had made the difference. In the end, Bob and the study group members passed the CBAP certification test with flying colors. They celebrated their success and knew what their journey together had been rewarding. That's amazingly almost right in too many ways. That's just crazy. So I did this using WordLibs, and I told ChatGPT to give me a story for Mad Libs that fit the scenario. So I gave it the scenario, and guys, it was so cool. Let me see if it will go to. So I would add a new story and I would enter this information. And whenever I told ChatGPT to give it to me for Mad Libs, it went ahead and gave me all of this with the brackets around it. I didn't have to add anything. And then I had to fill this out and then tell it to create, and it just turned into what I just did. So you could do this with anything. I would think that maybe shorter might be better for like a team building thing, because it gets kind of cumbersome getting it that long. But I thought this was pretty cool. So next week, I hope you can all join. We are going to talk about business architecture and the business analyst. And Brianna, as I said, has gotten rave reviews for this talk from some other groups. I've actually seen people not trying to promote, come to the event thing. It was more like, you guys got to hear about what I just learned. And it was so cool. So I encourage you to join us next week. And if there is something specific you want to learn, if you want to learn it on your own or through the study group, or if I can hook you up with somebody else, let me know. Contact me through LinkedIn. That's what I'm here for. And Bob, you want to talk about today's session? Give you the final word?
Oh, not today, no.
Okay. All right. Next week, we're going to start with Bob talking about the session and he can relate it, equate it to his framework where it does equate.
I only want to do that when we go through the faux project.
Okay, that's going to be in March then. Okay, we can do that in March. Speaking of that project, we are going to do a real software development project. We are going to really create something, and I'm thinking it's either going to be a database or it's going to be a website. I'm working with a website developer. I can do part of it myself, but I want it to be really awesome. So I'm working with the developer to see, can we do it without having to pay money? And then if it's a database, we might need to lean on you, Cliff, and you, Bob, to see what we can do to create a database. But I want it to be something that's truly useful. And if we can create it for an organization, I think that would be even better. You know, a school, something to help make their lives better. So we'd have real customers, and then we take on the roles of product owner, scrum master, everything that we need to, tester, to actually go through the true SDLC project. Okay? I look
This sounds
forward
like
to
fun.
that. I think it will be. I think it will be.
You know all that Microsoft data that I was playing around with? I think I sent you a copy of some of that.
Uh-huh.
We could actually maybe use some of that if we're doing a database type project. Import it and play around.
We might. I'm hoping we can find a small not-for-profit and see what they need and use their information. But
Oh,
it has to be data that doesn't violate any HIPAA rules, any privacy rules, you know, all that stuff. If they have
yeah.
products that they sell as a not-for-profit, I think that would be ideal. They can keep their customer list to themselves, and we can plug that in after we do our final testing. But we have a lot of options and we have a little bit of time. So if y'all know of somebody who needs a project that is within our scope, let's talk about it. Stephen, I look forward to hearing from you through LinkedIn, and we'll set up some time to be sure that you know what we know and we know how to help you best.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. All right, guys. I will see you next week, same time, same channel. And Aaron just joined, so I'm going to admit him and turn off the recording.